Start from the top. Let's do it. First line here, 2-Fort. 2-Fort is an F tier map. 2-Fort's borderline unplayable if you're actually trying to have like a fun time. I get why everyone loves it. It's probably one of the first maps a lot of people played. It was one of the first maps I ever played. I think the true first map I ever played was Junction, which is an even worse map. But yeah, 2-Fort's just not a good map. It just has really, really, it's just poorly balanced, you know? Tight corridors, really dumb flank routes, just two pretty close battlements that you can essentially do almost one rocket jump to and fro. It's not a good map. It's not a good map. Almost all the fighting happens inside. It's rough. It's not good. I get it. It's a cool looking map. It's iconic, but it's not good. Double Cross. So this is not, I'm not going to, every single one, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to talk exactly on map design, because some of these I'm just going to say, I love this map, even if it's not perfect. So you'll have to just accept that I'm going to have personal bias on some of these, okay? So just get that out of your head right away. This isn't purely map design. And also, I'll talk a little bit about some of the ones in their competitive forums, but for the most part, we won't be talking about these as competitive maps. But Double Cross is S tier. That's obviously controversial. And like, if we're talking about truly perfectly designed maps, I don't think any CTF map is technically, from a design standpoint, I think CTF is kind of meh, honestly, when it comes to TF2. So it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, it's if I was truly talking about Badlands, I don't think I could put Double Cross there, but I think it is probably top 3 best designed CTF maps. Maybe it might be the best designed CTF map, but like you compare it to like 2-Fort, and it's like there's actually open space to jump around. It's definitely a great sniper map, but there are some flank routes you can work with. Good high ground. It's relatively wide. It's got large ceilings, so you can actually jump really high if you're playing sticky demo or something like that. It's got places where you can play passively if that's how you want to play. So it's a really good map. I think if you don't like it, you probably really don't like CTF, and that's totally fine. And that comes to Landfall. I think Landfall is, I would put Landfall in A tier. I think it's it's my second favorite CTF map. It doesn't get a ton of play. Like, I don't think Landfall is a map that a lot of people play very often. I know I almost never get it in the casual queue. But yeah, Landfall is just a really good map. I think it is actually not as good a sniper map. It's got some great sniper sightlines, but it's actually not as good for sniper as Double Cross is. So I think for Landfall, it's actually probably a generally more pleasurable experience. That's a weird sentence. It's probably a better experience for the majority of players because the sightlines aren't quite as punishing. Because the mid-fight actually has a lot of different sightlines, got that big tree in the middle that you can kind of work around. I think it's a really, really, really well-designed map. It'd be almost interesting to see it as like a Koth map. Because I think if you made the spawns a little closer to mid, and then you worked around with the tree in the middle as more of a point or something, I think it'd be a really interesting Koth map because it is so well designed. Well, let's get this out of the way. CTF Sawmill is... I'm going to put it in D tier. The CTF Sawmill is no fun. It's like, you have to get the intel from like under... It's very, very 240. It just has slightly better gameplay than 2-Fort because at least it's a little bit more open. You can jump around. You got a little bit more variety in gameplay, but it's not much better than 2-Fort, honestly. Has all the same problems, and it's just a bad CTF map. But yeah, Sawmill is just boring. It's just pretty meh. I'm going to put Sawmill in... It's a C tier map. It's not an overtly terrible map in any regard. It's just not... It's not interesting. There are just so many better Koth maps you can play. It just does nothing for me. I played pretty much exclusively 24/7 instant respawn Turbine servers for years. Literally years of Turbine. So I have hundreds, probably over 1,000 hours on Turbine, all in all. Maybe not, yeah, probably over 1,000 hours. And probably like over 2,000 Double Cross. All that said, Turbine is not a well-designed map. Even the pro version of Turbine is not a well-designed map. I've got a lot of nostalgia for it because like it's a decent sniper map. It's flat, you know, it's got okay sightlines in mid. Turbine kind of sucks. It looks good. Like honestly, I think it aesthetically is pretty nice. What's going on, Cac? But Turbine is not a well-designed map. Not many classes get to have a lot of fun in Turbine. And like for me, as much as I love playing Sniper, and like my nostalgia or why I've played a lot of maps over the years is pretty heavily dependent on how much I enjoy it as Sniper, I think one of the best signs of a decently designed map is how much freedom like a rocket jumping soldier or a sticky jumping demo man gets to have on the map and how much fun they can have. And Turbine is just, there's nowhere to move on Turbine, man. It's just so cramped. I'm going to put it in C. I'll put it in C with Sawmill. It's better than Sawmill though. It's just not that good. I love it, but it's not a good map. I wish it was. It just isn't. Well, I gotta use my brain for a second, just think about Well. Do you guys know that Well, was it CTF? No, I think 5CP Well used to be a competitive map, like in TF2's like competitive infancy. That Well used to be played competitively, and that's horrific. Well sucks. Well is an F tier map. Well is I think Well's worse than 2 Fort. I don't love 2 Fort. Sorry, I don't like, obviously I hate 2 Fort, but I actually think it's at least slightly more fun than Well. Well blows. Okay, here we go. 5CP Well. I think 5CP Well, that can work its way next to CTF Sawmill in D tier. It's still the same map, but at least there's a little bit of variance in where the fights take place, etc., etc. I strongly dislike Well, but I could see the argument for 5CP Well being higher up for some people. I just don't think it's a very fun map. Snowfall is just the prettier version of Landfall, honestly. So it's a great. I love Snowfall. I think it's one of the nicer like seasonal kind of reskins. It looks great. Like it literally Landfall was built for like a cool seasonal reskin like that. 2 Fort but pumpkin bombs. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say I've never played it. I don't think I've ever played it. If I have, it was so forgettable that I feel like I've never played it. So it's gonna go in my never played, unfortunately. Gorge is attack defend, and 5 Gorge is the 5 CP. That's right? That's what that is. Okay. So let's do Gorge first. I think Gorge, I'm not a big fan of attack defend maps usually. But weirdly enough, when Gorge first came out, I can't remember when it came out. Whatever update introduced Gorge. I probably played attack defend Gorge. I probably have like 200-300 hours on this map. And like, I can't even say it's that good of a map, but I think it's slightly underrated. You know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out and say, I think Gorge is a B tier map. I think it plays pretty well. It has a pretty interesting concept where the first half of it is like, I definitely enjoy the first half of the map a lot more. There's a lot more variety in gameplay, but even the inside part is like, it's spammy and it's mayhem and it's chaos, but it's kind of fun. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot going on. I like Gorge. I think Gorge is pretty underrated. And yes, it is good for sniping, which obviously hits me right in the feels. So 5 Gorge, I think, is definitely... I think 5 Gorge is a bit of a step down. The pacing isn't quite right. Something about 5 Gorge just feels a little off. I don't know how to describe why 5 Gorge is not as good as Attack Defend Gorge. It just doesn't feel right. It's better than Turbine and Sawmill though. So it's like a high C tier, but it's not quite Gorge. 5 CP Badlands. This is one of those maps that like is iconic for TF2, especially the competitive scene. But even competitive players for a long time have, at least in the last like 3 years, 4 years or so, have pretty much decried Badlands as not a very good map. Like, it looks really nice. It plays decently in casual for a 5 CP map. It's iconic, but it's just not, it doesn't have smooth gameplay. It's just, I don't know, it feels very fragmented. If I was making a competitive map tier list, it would be probably like D or F, because it's not that fun to play. But as like a general map, Badlands is beautiful. Badlands is a really, really, really nice looking map. They did change the last, right? Yeah, I remember that. I know there's definitely a pro version of it where you can't cap last in a fraction of a second before a human being can even react. I think, Matt, I'll judge Badlands on a general scale and not just in competitive. And I'll say, as a 5 CP map, it looks really nice. You know, you can get some okay games in it. It's somewhere in C tier. It's probably above Sawmill because I just hate Sawmill, but like somewhere in C tier. Coldfront. There is a reason Coldfront was turned into Warmfront for competitive modes, and then Warmfront just was not played anymore. Coldfront sucks. Coldfront in casual is whatever. It's just another 5 CP. It's actually not bad. I actually think Coldfront is better than Badlands from a casual perspective. It needed to just be a 3-point map. It needed either the 2 points after mid on either side to be removed, and it was just mid and last, or it needed last to be removed on either side, and the points after mid were like the last. I don't know how to fix Coldfront. It's just so long. It takes an hour and a half to walk from one end of the map to the other. The sightlines are ridiculous. Last is a map. Last on in and of itself is a cough map. So I don't know. Coldfront blows. Coldfront's gonna go D. It's not F tier 2 fort levels, but Coldfront's not good. Warmfront would be slightly higher, which was the competitive version of it. But yeah, it just kind of stinks. You guys ready for some hot takes? Fastlane is a very, very fun casual map. It basically has all the same problems Coldfront has, but there's just something different. I don't know if it's maybe better health pack distribution, slightly more manageable sightlines. Maybe it's just the aesthetic of it that I enjoy a little bit more. I think it's that maybe last is either harder or easier to push. I don't know. I have a lot of hours in Fastlane. Most of the time, most of it from like my early days of TF2. I really enjoy Fastlane. It's slightly more condensed than Coldfront, and Coldfront is just so barren. Coldfront feels boring. Fastlane feels fast, baby. Fast-paced. Fast lanes. I'm not going to go out... I'm going to put it in B. Fastlane's at least B tier. I enjoy Fastlane. I think there's a lot of different ways you can play it. It's just an interesting map. You know, so Foundry, I think Foundry is a fun map. I think it's not a particularly good competitive map. It doesn't get played in that regard, but I think as a casual 5 CP map, Foundry is very solid. I'm putting it in B. It is a stalemate map. It is. I'm not going to argue that. But what I do think makes its saving grace in it being a stalemate map is that all the individual points are so huge that even when the stalemates are happening, there's actually like room for like these mini fights to take place. Freight. Listen, Freight used to be a competitive map. It's got trains. Freight's mid, decent. Freight's mid is B tier. Freight's everything else... Freight's mid is B tier. Freight's trains are S tier. Everything else about Freight is goddamn F tier. So I don't know. You add that up, and I think Freight goes top of D tier. It has some nostalgic value for it because, like, I remember watching frag videos and Freight being played, and I remember playing it a lot in pub servers. But man, Freight stinks. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right, Granary. We're not going to talk about Granary because I know Granary has a pro version of it that's used in comp, I think, to this day. And Granary, so it's much more playable and competitive now. We're just going to talk about regular Granary. Regular Granary, I have a soft spot for it. I enjoy the map. I think aesthetically it's very pleasing. But it's just not, it feels wrong. It feels broken. It feels clunky. It feels slow. I like mid. Mid is awesome. But then the push from mid into the second point always feels weird. We have to walk across this huge courtyard, and then you have to go into the shutters into that house area. And then that is just mayhem in there. And I don't really like the fights that go on in there. And then last is just, I don't know, something about last is too big. I don't know. I like Granary. I think it looks great. It's very nostalgic for me. But as a general map, and when you actually get down to playing it, I haven't had a ton of good Granary experiences. I'm going to put it somewhere between Turbine and it's got similar vibes to the same thing as old Badlands, right? Like they're both nostalgic, but like neither are particularly good maps. Yeah, I think present day Gullywash, very fun map. It works in Highlander, it works in sixes, it even works decently in casual. The casual flow is not great, but I think with how good a map I feel it is in competitive in general, I don't think that's as big a deal. And I think if you get like good, decent team balance in casual, Gullywash actually plays pretty well. I'm gonna put Gullywash. I'm really saving S and A tier for like some of my personal favorite maps. So I'm gonna put Gullywash top of B tier. I think it's a very good map. I enjoy it a lot, but like I wouldn't put it in my A tiers. But Metalworks. Metalworks is actually a map I get a ton in casual. Like when I'm just queued randomly in casual for like a bunch of different maps, I feel like Metalworks is like by a wide margin the most common 5CP map I get. So it must mean casual players actually kind of like it. I don't really get it. Metalworks, as the name would suggest, like this industrial kind of whatever map, it just feels so, it feels like it's missing assets. Like it feels like it's missing, it's got no heart. It doesn't seem to have much of an identity. It just is, it honestly, to me, when I see Metalworks, I see those jump maps that are like, that don't have any textures, and they're just like the orange and the blue walls and stuff, and they're super utilitarian. That's kind of what Metalworks feels like for me. I don't think it's a poorly designed map. I think in competitive, it's relatively, I don't know, decently liked, I guess. It just bores the hell out of me, man. Like it's just, I don't know. It has no, it's got no vibes. It's not a bad map. I'm putting it right in this middle area with Granary and Badlands. It's the opposite of Granary and Badlands, where these two maps have a ton of heart and soul and like very, visually identifiable and everyone knows them. Metalworks is a better design map, but it's just boring as all hell, man. It's got nothing working for it. Powerhouse, I have not played much Powerhouse. What I have played of it, I will say it's a fine casual Koth map. I think it actually plays okay, decently smooth in a casual setting. I don't get great vibes from Powerhouse. I'm going to put it bottom of C just because I don't think I've had enough bad experiences with it to put it lower than that, but I can't say I have anything memorable to go with that. Process, I'm not putting it S tier because I'm not a Market Garden main and I don't play a ton of sixes soldier. So I'm not going to put it S tier, but Process is an easy A tier in my opinion. It has to be this most popular competitive map across the board. Like I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't love it or are bored of it, but like I don't know. Process is pretty ubiquitously associated with like a pretty fun experience, and what makes it cool is that it's actually fun and casual too. Like it's I don't know. It's pretty open. Got good points. Last isn't misery to push. Mid is iconic, and even second is like, I don't know. The more I think about Process, the more I realize I really, really like Process's design. So I think Process is a great map. I actually really enjoy Snakewater. Funnily enough, I actually like it almost as much for Highlander. I think it's actually a solid Highlander 5CP maps, and I think that's kind of rare. But it's also great for sixes, and it's actually really quite enjoyable and casual as well. I think I got the top, I was in a top 10 TF2 Plays of the Month episode on X Television like a couple years ago or a few years ago, whatever, and I got number 1, and my clip was from Snakewater. So I think I have to, I have to put it high up. Okay, so literally 3 great 5CP maps in a row, because now it's Sunshine. I'm just putting Sunshine right in there with it, because Sunshine, I love Sunshine in competitive. I love watching comp play on Sunshine. I enjoy playing Sunshine competitively. And it's actually a super, super good casual map in my opinion. I think it plays really well. So, I don't know. What else can I say? It's really pretty to look at. Plays pretty smooth. I think Sunshine's just a super, super well-designed map. So, not much I can say. It's right up there with Process and Snakewater. I think those 3 are like probably 3 of the best 5CP maps in the game. So Vanguard. I remember when Vanguard was first released, and it was, I remember playing it in Highlander in its first season, And I actually remember kind of enjoying it. I haven't played much of it since, but I definitely remember enough about it to put it on here somewhere. I do remember my version of Vanguard, and I think other people will experience this too. My Vanguard had all those pink and black squares for like the missing assets, and it was all over the map. And for some reason, Vanguard ran at like 25 FPS for me when I first started playing it. So it was like, it was almost unplayable, but it got better after a certain version or something was updated. But I remember Vanguard sucked, like from a gameplay perspective for me, because it just ran like garbage. But it's an okay map. But Vanguard goes in my... Vanguard's gonna go right in my meaty little 5 CP C tier here. Not so bad that I'm gonna put it anywhere else, but it's right in the center there. All right, Yukon. Here we go, baby. Yukon's a B tier map. It's probably the worst of all those B tier maps, and you could make an argument for any of the maps in C and probably D tier as being better. But I like Yukon. It's old school. Again, another map that was played competitively years and years and years ago. Yukon's, I don't know, it's got that special place in my heart. How many kills do I have on my Yukon rifle? Here we go. 135 Yukon kills, baby. Let's go. I don't know. I only play it every now and then when it pops up, but like, Yukon's fine. It's a fun map. It's in casual. I would never play it competitive, but it's, I don't know. I feel like my games would always end up being pretty fun. So it goes up there. Dustbowl. Yikes. Big yikers on the Dustbowl. I don't understand people who, like, I don't know if I've ever actually heard someone actively argue for Dustbowl as a good map, but I don't know what that argument could potentially be. Like, if anyone here likes Dustbowl, please, do not fear reprisal. I will not laugh too much at you. But please, let me know, if you like Dustbowl, why? It's 100% choke points. It's like all right angles. There's a tiny bunch of little holes you can hide in. It's mayhem. It's whoever has the crit soldier demo on their team. And, oh, I hate it. God, I hate it so much. Yeah, that's an easy F tier. I think from a gameplay perspective, it's much less enjoyable than both CTF Well and 2-4. So it's like, not only is it an F, but it's like firmly in the bottom of F. Egypt. You know what? Egypt, I can't say I've had many like really, really fun Egypt games in my many years of playing TF2, but what I will say about Egypt is this. Every time you play Egypt, you will experience an Egypt-only moment. It might not be good. It might be amazing. I don't know. I can't tell you what it would be, because every single time you play it, you'll experience a brand new, unique, just to you, Egypt moment. Not many maps can say that. So, I don't know. I'm putting Egypt bottom of B tier for the simple fact that Egypt is just unbridled anarchy and chaos. And Egypt feels so unlike almost every other map in the game. And to me, that gets props. So I'm going to come out and say, I like Gravel Pit. I think Gravel Pit, Gravel Pit's going to get bonus points for being interesting. I don't think it's an amazingly designed map. It's not the best map. It's not the most interesting looking map, but it's got some things going for you. It has some unique experiences. It's got that spire on, what is it? It's got that spire on C. It's got the fact that you can cap A or B first. It's got roofs and stuff. I don't know. I'm torn as to where to put Gravel Pit here. I'm putting Gravel Pit bottom of B. I'm doing it. Junction, like I was saying, if you got a team of developers together, like seasoned map makers from all across different games, and you sat them in a room and said, you guys have a year to make the worst map you can possibly make for a team class-based first-person shooter, they still wouldn't be able to come up with Junction. Because I don't think, until Junction existed, and whoever created it, no one had conceived a map as bad as Junction. No one had made something as unfun, as unenjoyable, as morbidly cruel, and just 99% of your deaths in Junction, you have no idea what killed you. Something dropped out of a vent, a crit rocket came flying out of a door you didn't know existed. There's 4 sentries in the roof and behind you. You think you're in spawn, but you're not. You are in spawn, but you thought you weren't. Junction is a disaster. Now, what I will say about Junction is that Junction is the first map I ever played in TF2, and my first ever TF2 experience was playing Junction, and this is the Junction experience, building a sentry on last and sitting there in like this little corner where nothing could stab me and just hitting this wrench. And I think I got like a 90-something kills, and I think to this day, it's like my highest kill streak ever on any class. So that was my first ever TF2 experience. Okay, moving on. Mercenary Park. Mercenary Park, I actually really, really dislike. It feels like whoever designed it was just trying way too hard to fit the aesthetic of... This was a Jungle Inferno map, I imagine, right? They were trying way too hard to fit some aesthetic and like introduce a lot of kind of... I'm not sure what they were going for, but none of it kind of pans out in a gameplay perspective. I agree the art style is actually not bad at all at Mercenary Park. Everything Jungle Inferno has pretty nice art, pretty nice map aesthetic. But from a gameplay perspective, this goes in D tier. You can disagree with that, but like every experience I've had in Mercenary Park it's just not fun, man. I don't know. It's just I can't recall a fun experience on Mercenary Park. Great in mid, but listen, again, every map that I really strongly dislike here will have parts to it or areas that are well designed. Like that's just, except for Junction. Except for Junction and Dustbowl. Every other map I hate here has parts that people like. So, there's always it's just kind of how I prioritize what I like is what makes them. Like I have Double Cross in S tier. Double Cross is not 99% of TF2's player base an S tier map. So, take that with a grain of salt. Mossrock's too big. Like, why is Mossrock so huge and then last is just incredibly claustrophobic? Again, one of these maps that it's almost like it was supposed to be a 3 capture point map or something. I don't know. Mossrock to me is very, very, very meh. I'm going to put it, I don't know, like somewhere behind the 5 CPs, I guess, but above Cost Sawmill. I don't know. Mossrock is very, very meh. I usually like maps that have trains because trains are hilarious in TF2. I think most maps can be made better with trains just zooming through the middle of them and just killing people. But yeah, I don't know. Mossrock is just it's very meh for me. Manor, right? Yeah, Manor, or whatever it's called. I think that's probably most people's kind of first foray into Mountain Lab. I think Mountain Lab's a good map. It's very unique. Even like the last, I know it follows that trope of like you're outdoors and then you're indoors. But the outdoor has like all those winding points to it. It kind of has that cool one-way door that shuts after you cap, so it like gives you kind of like a second chance to recommit. And first point's impossible to hold, so it's kind of cool that it has like that little gate where you can get a little second. The defense gets like a second chance to get there quickly, and then you turn that corner, and then like there's this whole huge valley before you go indoors to this mountain lab. I think it's a very solid map. Definitely a casual map. But I'm gonna put it goes somewhere in. I'm gonna put it top of B tier. I think it's a very nice map. Very, very nice map. You cap the train. If you're capping a train, I have never played it. Huh. Well, I've never played it. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to give me your opinions of Snowplow, because I can genuinely say I don't think I've ever played Snowplow before. Steel. Ooh, Steel's a tough one. I hate Steel. So this is like, I will just get that out of the way first. Like, before we talk about Steel, I am a person who strongly dislikes Steel. But that doesn't mean I think it's a bad map. I actually think Steel is a very interesting, kind of cool design. And one of the reasons I dislike Steel so much is that it's pretty bad for sniper, and it's just very choke pointy, blah, blah, blah. But like, the fact that Steel... Does anybody know, is Steel still played in Highlander? Let's go on Zoom. I'm not 100% sure if Steel is still played in Highlander. Because if it is, that is a testament to the fact that Steel is a decently designed map. Because it has been around for a long time in competitive Highlander. And there are a ton of crazy strats for it. And it's an interesting map. Okay, so it is. Like, and so even as someone who really, really dislikes the experience of playing on Steel, I think I have to bite the bullet here and give Steel props for what it is. I'm not going to go too hard because I don't like Steel, but I'm going to put Steel somewhere bottom of B. And that's being very generous for me because I do not enjoy Steel, but I recognize that it is an interesting, relatively well-balanced map. So it gets that from me. I don't know what to do. There it goes. That doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it's the Gorgekeep. I don't know where to put it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know where to put it. I don't play it, but it's like it's not a TF2 map. It's like this weird little. Yeah, it's gimmicky, but it's not bad. It's not a bad map. It's a very interesting map, but like I can't properly rate it amongst the rest of these. So it gets its own category. It is the Gorgekeep. It is what it is. I'm glad it exists. For the people who love it, I'm glad you've got the Gorgekeep to play on. That's all I can say. Standin. I remember playing Standin when it was first introduced into competitive. I think it is a horrendous competitive map. I don't think it's fun to play on at all. It's got where you can cap all 3 points at any time kind of thing. I think in casual, it's actually a slightly better. But no, I don't know. In competitive, at least there's some strategy. In casual, it's just nobody knows what's going on, and it's just the better team instantly caps all 3 points, and then it's over. Yeah, I don't think it's a poorly designed map. I'm glad I think it's interesting that they tried to do something a little bit different with the way the points cap, but unfortunately, Standin still stinks. Top of D tier. I think it's maybe slightly better in some of these maps, but it's just not fun. It just has too much. It just has too much going on. Y'all know where this next map's going, baby. Boom, S tier Hydro. That is it. It actually could go in its own Gorgekeep. Hydro's S tier. Hydro is. How do I explain Hydro? How do I begin to explain what the experience of playing Hydro is like? It's hard. I'll start by saying this. I think 50% or even more of the experience of playing Hydro is the map actually just breaks. Like you'll be playing casual and then the points don't cap properly. Sometimes it just actually goes on forever. Like sometimes it just won't end. Like the map literally breaks, I think, half of the time you play it. But god damn it if Hydro isn't trying to be the best map ever created. And Hydro was actually one of the first maps I ever played, and I played a weird amount of it. Like back in the day, I used to play on like community servers that had like 24/7 Hydro, which like that's insane to me. But it's kind of a meme pick for S tier, but straight up in my heart, I love Hydro. Whenever I queue for casual when I stream and play TF2, you never see me get Hydro because no one plays it, but Hydro is always in one of my selected maps. It's there. It's always ready to go. Every time I get it, crazy shit happens. It's just the weirdest, most surreal experience you'll ever have playing TF2. So if you haven't played Hydro, go right now, go into casual, or go in like peak playing hours where you might have other people there, and just queue specifically for Hydro and wait and put it on in the background. Go do something else, queue for an hour or however long it takes, and go play some Hydro. And then you come back and let me know. You come back and let me know what your experience is like. Badwater. So this is gonna be interesting. Some of these like classic 5CP not 5C payload maps are gonna be tough for me, because I actually personally don't. There are maps I enjoy a lot more than Badwater, but I think Badwater. I know it's overplayed. Everyone plays it, but like it's played for a reason. Badwater is just a good map. It's got problems. The flow of it isn't always great. I think rolls are really, really amplified on Badwater. I'm not 100% sure what the reason for that is, like from a map design perspective, but rolls are really bad on Badwater. But when you get a decently balanced couple teams of Badwater, I think it's a very, very good map. I don't have anywhere to put it but A. It's not my favorite payload map, but I just think it has a lot. It has a lot to offer for a lot of different gameplay. I get why some people don't like it. Everyone has probably a different reason for that. One of those being, some people probably just aren't a big fan of payload maps, and one of those reasons is that, and Badwater's no extension, Badwater is just it's very good for sniper, which can be extremely frustrating and make some people just not like maps. I get that. I'm a good sniper. I understand when maps are way too good for sniper, and it makes the map not as fun. So Barnblitz is... Ooh, it's not F tier. Barnblitz is D tier. Bottom of D tier. And pretty much specifically because of last. Last point in Barnblitz is misery. It's utter misery. It's not fun. It's poorly designed. I know there are competitive versions of Barnblitz now that have improved that last point. But even the point before last on Barnblitz sucks. It's not fun. First sucks. This whole map sucks. I really dislike Barnblitz. Yeah, it's not F tier, but man, is it D tier for me. And then on the other hand, I think Borneo, I actually much prefer Borneo to Badwater. I think Borneo, in my opinion, from a casual perspective, is actually a more enjoyable payload map than Badwater. And it might actually be my favorite casual payload map right now to play. I won't speak of it in a competitive sense. I don't know what people's opinions on Borneo are today. I don't know what the meta's like on it. Maybe it's not as fun. But I like Borneo a lot. I think it's a really good map. It's aesthetically really nice to look at, has a good flow. Even it's a long enough map that even when there's a roll, you've got some time to fall back and get some shots in and still have some fun. So I think it's fun. I don't think I've ever played Cactus Canyon, if I'm being totally honest. I gotta put it in. I gotta put it in never played. I play a lot of CTF and 5CP, and I actually, for someone who loves sniper, don't play a ton of payload. I just don't think I've ever played it before. So I've never played Enclosure either. Yeah, I've never played it. If I have literally zero memory of it. So that's virtually like I've never played it. Okay, Frontier. Is this a hot take? Is it a hot take if I say that Frontier is hot trash? I don't know what people's general opinion. I feel like it's a moderately popular map, but I don't know many people who like it. I strongly dislike Frontier. I just don't think it's very... There's so many better payload maps to play. I think it's funny that the cart can kill you. That's about it. I think last is funny. You can fall in that big hole. But it feels like it's probably... I mean, it's probably a spy playground. Yeah, I don't enjoy Frontier. It's whatever. It's a C tier. It's not going to be any worse than that because it's still a whatever payload map and it can probably have fun moments. Goldrush is going to go, it's not F tier. Goldrush is not F tier. Goldrush is... I'm actually going to put Goldrush somewhere in the middle of D tier. I don't think it's a good map. I don't think it's a particularly fun map to play, but I do think it has that really nice classic TF2 aesthetic. It's open enough that you can do some things in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a super classic TF2 map that doesn't have nearly as many issues as other classic TF2 maps like Dustbowl or Two Fort or something. So I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's a good map. But yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. I'm actually struggling with my emotions about Hoodoo because I have so many Hoodoo memories, but nothing in particular. Just I know I've played a lot of the map. I think I'm going to put Hoodoo... Hoodoo. What do I do about this? I'm going to put Hoodoo to top of D tier. It's nostalgic for me, but like, again, not really in a good way. I can all the things from a gameplay perspective I can picture in my head about Hoodoo I'm like, ooh, I don't want to do any of those things now anymore. All of that sounds like torture. But at the same time, I still remember the map, so it was doing something. But yeah, Hoodoo is similar in Goldrush. It's in Goldrush territory. You know what? I'm going to put Hoodoo right on. Actually, I'm going to put both Goldrush and Hoodoo at top of D for being nostalgic and very, very similar. I don't love Pier. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people were saying it is. I can't say I have a ton of great experiences on it, but it's not that bad. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna just comfortably put Pier. Do I have a payload map in C tier? Yeah, Pier is Frontier-esque. Pier Frontier, they rhyme. So there they go. So here's another map, Snowy Coast. I didn't play much Snowy Coast until like recently, where it would come up in my casual queue every now and then. I don't like Snowy Coast at all. Yeah, I don't have fun on this map. Snowy Coast isn't enjoyable. Am I wrong? Are there other opinions that differ on Snowy Coast? Am I just a Snowy Coast hater? Everything Snowy Coast is, I feel like there are 5 other payload maps you could be having more fun on. You know, it's going right in my meh payload tier. Here you go. It goes right next to it. I won't break up the rhyme there, but it's right with Pier and Frontier. In terms of enjoyability. I'm gonna put Powerhouse below those, because Powerhouse is worse than those 3 maps. So is Mossrock. I'm not going to rebuild this too much. Yeah. Oh no. Where are they? Pier, Frontier, Snowy Coast. Just my very, very meh payload experience tier there. I don't know. It's Snowy Coast. It's not a great map. It's not a terrible. Sorry, I gotta shrink my little face now. It's not a good map. It's not a bad map. It's Snowy Coast, baby. Swiftwater. Here's another one where, like, I feel like Swiftwater is wasted potential incarnate. I think Swiftwater had a lot of potential to be a really, really, really fun payload map and a really well-designed payload map. And instead, it's just, like, some people's favorite map because it has, like, 1 or 2 interesting points they really like. I think Swiftwater could have been good start to finish, but they just messed up a ton of things. First point is, I get in the Highlander and competitive, no one holds first point because it's hard to, but in casual, first point is just this mayhem where, like, why are the sightlines so gigantic down onto first point from everywhere on the map? And then second, you have to go through a cave. Any map that makes you go through a goddamn cave instantly drops a tier or 2. Last, I think Swiftwater genuinely, no matter where I was going to put Swiftwater on this tier list, its last point drops it down a tier. Last on Swiftwater is rivaled only by Barnblitz for most infuriating last points. It is just, oh god, last on Swiftwater is so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, defense is boring because you don't have a lot of room to really move around, but it's so easy to hold and so hard to push. Yeah, I hate to keep putting maps in this, like, C tier area, but it is, man. It's like, it's going to go at the top of C tier because I think it is better than a lot of the maps in here. But man, Swiftwater is just very, very underwhelming, and I think just a ton of missed potential. I think Swiftwater could have been so much better. Not good enough. Not good enough. Very disappointing. Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain's going to be... I think Thunder Mountain's a very enjoyable casual map. I don't think everyone enjoys Thunder Mountain. Like, I think it's got a lot of problems, and it's not always the most fun map to play on, but it is unique. It offers a lot of variation in ways you can play the game. And yeah, it's got a lot going for it in the sense that it's just kind of, you know, it offers cool moments. And, like, TF2 thrives on when there's cool moments. You come around to Thunder Mountain. Yeah, like, I think it's just... I think at first glance, it's a little bit too big, and it drolls on a little bit. But if you just treat it as, like, a kind of a DM map where there's, you know, it's also payload and there's sentries and stuff, I think Thunder Mountain's decent. I'm going to put Thunder Mountain somewhere middle of B tier. Let's put it right above Steel in enjoyability. I think Thunder Mountain's a very, very enjoyable map. Personally, Upward, again, it's just another one of those maps where I do think it's way too strong for Sniper. Like, the sightlines are just a little bit too extreme. And then Last Point is just a little annoying to push, but I think it's a better overall map than Badwater, but I don't enjoy it as much as Borneo. So it's going to go in A tier. In my opinion, better than Badwater, a little bit better than Badwater, a little bit less enjoyable than Borneo. From a straight map design perspective, I'm sure there's arguments you can make other ways, but that's just my personal enjoyment. Okay, Whatville. Like, I don't know. I want to meme and put Whatville high, but we all know Whatville is, I mean, Whatville is F tier. It is what it is. It's funny. No, sorry, Junction is still worse. Junction is still worse than Whatville. It's nothing will overtake Junction. Whatville is more enjoyable. At least Whatville is open. At least you can jump around and shoot people and see things. Like, I get that Whatville is just a hot, horrible mess of a map, but Junction is unplayable. There's nothing fun you can do in Junction whatsoever. At least Whatville has meme potential with higher ceilings. It's got that. What the hell is Asteroid? Robot Destruction. What does that mean? Is this an MVM map? I don't think I've ever played this. That's easy. Goes into my never played before. I have no other opinion other than I do not have fun on Banana Bay. So it's... Where does it fall here? It's got to be better than Hoodoo though, right? Okay, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it is a better better map than Hoodoo. But I've never had a good experience on it. So like, what are you going to do? I can't put it any higher than D tier. I don't have fun. that's kind of it, right? Like if I don't have fun on it, it's over. Before we got to get Arena Sawmill out of the way. I guess Arena Sawmill, I mean, it's the exact same map as Cost Sawmill, right? You're just not capping mid. So I guess I'm just judging on the fact that I don't think Arena is a good game mode in TF2. So if CTF Sawmill is there, Arena Sawmill, anything Arena is just worse? Yeah, like, I don't know. Is it better than 2 Fort? Yeah, I don't know. Arena sucks, so Arena Sawmill sounds miserable. It'll go slightly above Whatville. Hightower. Hightower is a tough one, because, like, I get it. I get why people enjoy it, and, like, I have had a lot of fun on Hightower before, like, airshotting people or playing sniper or whatever. I kind of like that it just devolves into nothing but DM. But I think it's as good as it is popular? No. It doesn't mean I think it's bad, but I'm going to put Hightower like top of B. It doesn't make my A tier. It just, yeah, I think Hightower sits right at the top of B tier. I think I would want to play Hightower over every other map below it here, but I think I want to play every map in A tier more than Hightower. So, I don't know. It's going to go right there. It's going to go right in B. Very fun, but like, it's so samey. It's just every single time you join Hightower, there will be 3 good snipers on each team, or whatever. There will be 4 soldiers on each team. One of them will have a direct hit. 2 of them have the rocket jumper, and one of them's just running stock, and they're just jumping around. And then there's sticky jumping demos going from spawn to spawn, just spawn camming people with pipes. And then there's like 3 good spies. It's so samey. It's so samey. And like, it's not a bad thing, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't stand out to me as being like an incredibly fun map. Fall goes into my never played before. A lot of people are saying it's fun. I wish I had an opinion. I just don't know. I've never played it. I think it's a really underrated game mode. I'm really surprised Payload Race didn't become more of a thing in TF2. The only really successful Payload Race map is Hightower. And like, no one plays the objective in Hightower anyway, so people forget that it even is a Payload Race. But I'm personally very surprised that there aren't more popular Payload Race maps. I'm going to put Pipeline, I don't know, bottom of B tier, I'd say. I think Pipeline's a very fun map. Okay, so we're on to... Okay, be honest. How many of you have played Byre? B-Y-R-E. What the hell is that? I'm sure if I played it, I'd be like, I hate Arena, but this is fine. But I've never played it, so... I don't like Arena maps at all, especially not anymore. I think it was okay back in the day, but I'm going to put Arena Granary, I don't know. I can't put it any higher than, like, yeah, it's going to go it's probably more enjoyable than Arena Sawmill. That's all I can say. Okay, this is like the original arena map. Or not, maybe not the original, but like, I remember playing a lot of Badwater Arena actually back in the day. Yeah, it's another arena map. Woohoo! I guess it was made for arena, so it goes ahead of the others, but still an arena map. Let's just get these arena ones out of the way. Arena Nucleus, Arena Well. Oh, I think I threw up my mouth there. Get that out of here. I'm gonna get these arena maps, bing bang boom, right out of here real quick here. Actually, I think that's the last one. Okay, there you go. Arena maps. Arena stinks. I'm sorry. It's not... It has none of the fun of what TF2 is supposed to be about, where you get to play fun things and not worry about dying and not being able to respawn. I don't think that's what TF2 should be... How TF2 should be played. So... It's another arena. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Well, it goes on my never played. I've never played Ravine. I've never played Watchtower. So these are all arenas, I would imagine. So I've just never played any. Offblast, Ravine, Watchtower... They're arena maps, so I probably wouldn't like them, but I've definitely never played them. Ooh, baby. Koth Badlands. Okay, so Koth Badlands is, I think, objectively worse than regular Badlands, but not by much, because like we talked about before, Badlands is not a particularly great map. I don't enjoy Koth Badlands by any stretch, but I don't think it's the worst map ever created. It just feels wrong. It's like, why aren't you just playing regular Badlands? I think Koth Badlands is like somewhere in... It's in Hoodoo Goldrush D territory. It's Koth Badlands, man. It's like, why? Why would I play this? Like, if I like Badlands, if I like the aesthetic of it, if I like Badlands mid, I'm gonna go play regular Badlands. Actually, I've played Brazil competitively in fours against Boar, of all people. Boar, the legendary sniper, was on the other team. And we got rolled so hard. That was one of the most painful experiences because they capped mid, they won the first mid fight, and then Boar sat on that point as sniper, and we just couldn't get out. We were trapped for the rest of the game, and we lost, obviously. So that's my experience with Brazil. I actually think Brazil's kind of an interesting map. I don't hate it at all. I don't think it's a good map, but it's like, I'm gonna put it above Koth Sawmill. But yeah, somewhere in C tier for Forest Brazil. I know, right? It's not a great thing. Okay, Harvest. Harvest is an interesting one. I obviously like Harvest. I snipe. Harvest is a great sniper map. It's also fun for jumping around and doing a bunch of stuff. I think Harvest is actually an inherently very fun map, but it is still King of the Hill, and it's, you know, you can still set up mini sentries and get sniped from anywhere on the map. I'm going to put Harvest like above Hightower for fun. It's Harvest and Hightower fall into the same category of like, you know, fun DM, turn your brain off, go in there and shoot some stuff, jump around, hit some air shots, hit some headshots, whatever, run around as a scout. It's got a lot going on, but it's not, do I think it's a good map? I don't know. I don't think it's that. I'm not hating on Koth. I just don't think it's, I just think a lot of Koth maps are tough for me to put super high up because they really are just like, they're usually small. There's usually kind of condensed in the kind of strategy that can be involved and the variation in gameplay. So they're very linear in your approach to them. But I think Harvest is a lot of fun. High Pass is whatever. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's that bad. High Pass is going to go Brazil category of fun. More fun than Brazil, but... You know what? No, actually more fun than Badlands, Granary, and Vanguard. Probably a little less fun than Metalworks. So, High Pass lands comfortably in C. Okay, we're on to Kong King. I actually always thought this map was just called Koth King, and I actually didn't know the word Kong was in this map. But I'm going to put Kong King... I don't know, I always have a lot of fun when I play Kong King. I don't think it's like the greatest map ever designed, but it's unique. One of the few like cool urban landscapes you get to play in. I'm putting Kong King right in there, B tier. Oh, what happened to my voice there? I'm putting Kong King in B. Not super high up. It's not Harvest, you know, it's not Hightower, blah blah blah. But it's I have a lot of fun on Kong King. I don't think it's it's a totally inoffensive map and it has a very interesting aesthetic. So Good on you, Con King. You're doing a great job. I don't mind Lakeside at all. It's very open, but at the same time, you've got a lot of different avenues to go about to not be in the worst sight lines. If you're not playing sniper, got a lot of room to jump around. Obviously, it's a Koth map, so you're going to run into issues of sentries and mini sentries kind of stifling your ability to jump around a lot. But I don't know. I think Lakeside, very solid. It goes right there with Koth King, in my opinion. I think a lot of Koth maps might find their way right around here. But very inoffensive map. Very fun. Lazarus. Okay. I think Lazarus is gorgeous, but an absolute nightmare in terms of gameplay. Another one of those Jungle Inferno maps that looks great, but just falls so short in terms of actual map design. Yeah, I have almost no good experiences or good things to say about Lazarus outside of the fact that it is very, very pretty to look at. Yeah, I'm going to be really harsh on Lazarus. I think it's right here with Banana Bay. Lazarus stinks. I guess it's better than Koth Badlands, but Lazarus is almost no fun to play. Nucleus. I'm not going to elaborate too much on Nucleus. I used to play it a lot because it's a flat map, pretty good for snipers. It's interesting, but it's, oh my goodness, Nucleus is very, very meh. What's going on, Game Ace? Nucleus is one of the most meh maps I've ever played. It's, as much as it maybe seems like it has an interesting concept, it just feels so claustrophobic. And, 80% of the time you're just being shot in the back by a scout that's run across the map and there's nothing you do about it. Nucleus is, yeah, I'm just going to go out. Nucleus is right around Lazarus. That's a D tier map. Just not enjoyable. Just not the worst map ever, but it's not fun. It's not fun. Probed. I don't know what that is. I've never played it. Sujin. Okay. It's not Nucleus. It's better than Sujin is better than Nucleus. Is that good enough for you? I want to look at my C tier maps and see if I enjoy it more or less than any of the C tier maps here. I think Sujin's going to go a very pretty map, but just not enough diversity in gameplay. It's all about soldiers getting on top of you and spamming down from the building. The sniper sight lines into spawn are busted. I have a field day on Sujin as sniper, and it just feels unfair. And then there's that whole other half of the map with like the pagoda on the outside of the map. That is, it seems like it shouldn't be there at all. It just seems like this separate, unevenly balanced kind of, almost like it was supposed to be a second point or something. It doesn't feel right. Sujin's gonna go C. It's better than High Pass. Viaduct. I think Pro Viaduct, very good map, especially in competitive. Old Viaduct, honestly, one of my least favorite maps to play in TF2. Bottom of D tier. I really, really dislike Old Viaduct. I don't even like the aesthetic of it because Pro Viaduct looks so much better. But yeah, I just think the original Viaduct is just so poorly designed. Like it blows my mind. It's just another one of those classically old TF2 maps that just is missing so much in terms of actual design built around the classes in the game. So yeah, do not like Old Viaduct, but yeah, product is a lot of fun. Doomsday. I think I've played Doomsday. I'm gonna put Doomsday in my never played. I know I have played it before, but I have no opinion on it. I can't remember anything that happened. I don't even remember what the objective is. So I don't have an opinion on it. Doomsday goes in my never played because I don't know. I can't remember anything about it. So sorry, Doomsday fans. I have no opinion. I don't know what Big Rock is. I've never played that. Wait, these are all MVMs. Oh, Charlie, come here. God, did you hear that? My dog just like brushed open the door and then like scared himself and ran away. Oh, Chad. You're not the brightest bulb. We love you, Chad, but not always this. I'll go get him in a second, but he's fine. We're not counting manpower maps. We're not counting MVM maps. Those are their own tier lists. I think they're just taking up space in this list if I have them there. They're not there. They're not there. So no matter what, they're just, I can't judge them. I've never played them anyway, but overall, they don't fit the aesthetic of this video or this tier list. Okay, so now we're into Halloween maps. Like the only thing I can say, here you go. I'm gonna pick out a few that really stand out to me real quickly. And I'm going to put Los Muertos, up like top of A, I think Los Muertos is a tremendous map. Like, genuinely never, like, one of the more enjoyable new maps I've played in years in TF2. So I'll just pick out a few of my favorites here, or the few of the ones I hate the most. Los Muertos, boom, such a good map, so much fun. I'm so glad they added a good map into this update. It's a map that I would love to see in the rotation year round. I think it's so fun, such a good map. We're not touching, these are all reskins. I don't care about reskins. Man Manor is a classic, but we already did Mountain Lab. Man Manor is a very good map. I actually genuinely dislike almost every map that has whenever Marasmus gets involved, or the Big Eyeball, whatever his name is. God, that's so annoying. I genuinely really, for the most part, I dislike most of the event maps, especially Halloween event maps. I just don't think they're that fun. Monoculus, that's his name. Big Eyeball Man, I think he also goes by. Yeah, it's just not for me. I just want to shoot people when I'm playing TF2. I don't want an eyeball shooting crit rockets at me. The only one notable for me was Los Muertos. I think Los Muertos should be a map in the regular rotation year round. I think it is a tremendous casual map. Watergate is a non-Halloween map? Where is it? Oh, what is that? I gotta put Watergate in my never played. Sorry. So that's the final tier list. So we got S tier, Double Cross and Hydro. Yes, Hydro is a meme pick, but it has a special place in my heart. I don't care what anyone says. It just does. Double Cross, my favorite map of all time. I think it just plays well. It's fun, and I like it. I like the CTF aspect of it, because for the most part, it just becomes nobody caps, and it's just a DM fest, and I enjoy that. And then A tier is Los Muertos, the newest map in there by a long shot. But for the most part, just some good 5CP maps. I really enjoyed Landfall. And then good payload maps. Borneo, Upward, Badwater, stuff like that. B tier, stuff, classics, Harvest, Hightower. And then you have, like, B tier has a ton of, like, kind of meh 5CP maps. And, like, decent 5CP maps. Decent cost maps for the most part. B tier I would qualify as, like, well-designed maps, or, like, interesting maps. That, like, I probably don't play much, but I still really enjoy. C is just where I put a lot of things I didn't know where else to put them. I don't love them, but they're not bad. D, like, man, a lot of Jungle Inferno stuff. Banana Bay, Lazarus, Mercenary Park. I could have called D tier just Jungle Inferno tier. But, yeah, so underwhelming. D has a lot of maps that look good, but play terribly. And then F tier, baby. 2 Fort, CTF Well, Dust Bowl, Lumberyard. Yeah, F tier has all the arenas, because I just don't think arena works in TF2. Whatville, and there it is. The worst map in TF2's history and its current existence, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, or at least close to it, is Junction. So, that's it. That's the full tier list. Okay, I gotta go to the washroom. I'm gonna see if I can... Oh, there's Chad Lee. Chad. Hi. Are you still... What are you scared of? Chad? Come here. Come here. The door's not going to hurt you. The door's not going to hurt you.